time in the market will outplay time, especially if you're just learning. That's why I said this should always just be the small part. Learn the nuances with a little bit. Hold the good projects. Take these 20s, 40s. Some of these have been 84% beam. Hello. Right? Stacks. Hello. We have talked about the while it's been consolidating. I went for the next little bit more of a pullback and I'll load up the bags again. If you're always looking for that perfect entry for the long term, you could be standing on the sidelines for the whole damn game.
Oh, hello, D-Gens. Show 69. This episode is for you. NFA OFC. This is not financial advice, of fucking course. We're just hanging and talking about a lot of things. That short is hilarious to me. I love when you go, beam, hello. It's my favorite part of that short. Pope, buddy. It's Wednesday, April 17th. How you feeling?
Pretty good. We are at show 69 for the T-Gens. I loved your idea about having a giveaway for our 70, 80, 90, and 100 show, and then we went 69 as a no-brainer. And it's kind of shocking that we are at our show 69. And of course, this is not financial advice.
Fucking course, dude.
Right. Interesting days. We're going to dive into in a bit, but I'm still quite happy with what everything's happening and where we're at. What do you think, Kay?
Well, I think usually, guys, we check the tokens we're in and not in, down and up in, how to do shorts and longs in, and things we're just kind of curious about. But the first thing we do always, the big four, market cap, dominance, Bitcoin, and ETH. And if you just learn those four, you'll actually learn, pretty much everything. Let's do it.
The money flow. All right. The money flow cycle is what I watch continuously to make sure we're getting in the right spot of our trades. The money flow cycle is how much money is coming in, how much money is leaving crypto. And we learn that through the total market cap. Then we learn how much is in alts through our dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we use that information to hopefully make better trades, as Kate always says. What are we looking here on the market cap? Some surprises and some not really. We've talked about how on our hunt right now, we're still holding off. We've looked at some possible areas of entry, but we're holding off because we still think we might have a little bit of downwards motion. We were talking about possibly getting a double bottom on the 4 hour, and this is what looked like quite play out, but we didn't get that curl. And because we didn't get that curl, we obviously didn't play out the double bottom formation. So no worry, because even on the show last night, we said we were expecting a little pullback, and that was right in here. And I didn't expect we would have that much pullback right down to our trend line that we drew ages ago. And I said, I always start to get nervous if we come down to this trend line that we did ages ago. So that $2 trillion market cap. And even though we've come down here and now we're fighting at our 2.198, this consolidation box that we drew ages ago. And we can see there'll be some resistance, probably some pullback and things. So we didn't keep this pattern. So we never marry our TA. We were hoping that the indications at the time where we were looking like we might get that swing on our total market cap, and we did, but it sure looks like it's coming in now again. And it's been holding this line, which is good. So with all the uncertainty, I think that's all this is. I still hold by that belief. We're consolidating right now, in this area. And we have no reason or indication yet for any sort of panic or sell-off or anything. When the sky is falling and the chicken littles are out, these are your times of opportunity. This is the time to accumulate tokens. We're trying to get the best entries on these tokens we can. We're going to dive into our trades here shortly. And how we do that is understanding this money flow and then using strategy, knowing we're not always going to be right. But we are on a retest here on the 4-hour. We have been following that trend line for a while. Ooh, come on. And our last 4-hour candle was the pivotal point to get to this breakout candle, which will then need to go over and up. And we can see the curl. We can see that we've been in this area. And it's like the market is breathing, like that sigh of not relief, but just a lot of that apprehension is gone. And when you look at any experienced traders, Twitters or YouTube videos, and I'm not talking, people that are just shilling, people that have been in the game for a long time trading, we're all saying the same thing. It's accumulation time. Buying now is the equivalent of buying earlier in the year for these alts. And we know we have so much bullish sentiment around so many things. Now, geopolitical events is the one thing I've kept addressing. And that is always going to be the what if factor at the moment. So definitely need to see this soon. Somewhere in here. And this here to me, if we get down into this area, this is where I'm going, kind of like what the fuck danger area. This is where I really have to assess what's going on at that point. Are we going way more down because of geopolitical? Is it halving? Is it what? So far, all of this retracement for I think where we're at seems very reasonable. This mic probably picks up everything. And when we talked a little bit yesterday, how I always, even in our modules, I'll say, it takes a tweet from Elon or China or something to really affect the market. Well, during these pullbacks in the last major bull market, the pullbacks were a lot more significant. And they also lasted a lot longer. We've seen much faster recoveries this year. Now, that being said, we've also just seen our largest bleed of alts for the last 12 months. And that's not a bad thing unless you weren't in the best position to be absorbing that, because it is giving us accumulation and market cool off. So I'm not in anywhere near panic. We've been holding this for so long. We look like we're still getting that curl, that consolidation in this area. I said we're going to have some chop. Looks like we're probably going to move continuously in this bit for a minute, and then we go back to the races, for lack of better words. Our DOM, no surprise, we had a slight run in alts over the last little bit, very slight from their localized bottom, which would probably be this indication. Money coming back into the market now from what just left off our total market cap would be giving us the increase in the DOM. And we did say this was poised for a breakout, and it broke out to the down. We wanted it to break out to the up because it meant money coming in. Now, the good thing is on our micro bear for the dominance, we can see very thin. So kind of agreeing with the market cap, saying, hey, just kind of chilling. Bitcoin, I'll be honest, I actually haven't looked at Bitcoin all day. All before the Black Swan, way back in here in this belly is where we gave 2 entries. Our first entry hit in a stink bid. Then, of course, our stink bid hit on the way down. And we're holding above 60. And that's where I want it to be. And I've said that a few times. It's the psychological factor. It's all of it, you know. And can we go down? Absolutely. Do I think we're going to? Not so much. We got a entry here. Let's take away our draw. Let's clean this up a bit. We have a full-on red out, green in entry on the lower band of Bollinger. So when the red candle comes out, green candle goes in on our lower band. This is an entry. It's not a perfect entry, but it's an entry. When we're below here on our stochastic, this is typically your entry sign. Now, stochastic's not the best at telling you at the specific time, to the point right now it's even confused. It doesn't know if that was an entry. If you took it, you're already up a little bit of percent. But we do need to see this curl, and we do need to see these narrow for our price action to change this downward trend. And we have, and this is going to bring back all the drawings, we have it right there on a trend. And this candle either has to rip and take off. Let's get rid of these just to clean it up. To break this trend, or it's going to have to come over, pull back down to here, which would not be surprised after all this up, have a little bit of down, and then come back up. We're under this daily line here on the 4-hour. And now we're under it on the daily. But we do have a new candle. This is our new candle. So let's just quickly update that. So on the daily, we really want to see Bitcoin follow this line and chill the fuck out and hold it there. So we can probably, for the next little bit, to expect in this kind of chop in this area. And then this will become our next level of resistance at the high 60s. So I'm not in any sort of panic. Nothing's really happening that even when we zoom out, it's still within this consolidation rectangle we drew ages ago. We're just in the bottom third of it right now. And if you were in the top third when you bought in, this sucks. But if you're on the sidelines or looking to go up, this is where you want to get in. Now, how much will the halving, sorry, I was just looking at a thing about how everybody's calling it halving and that's wrong. Nobody has the crystal ball. Anybody says this is what is going to happen, they're out to lunch. But what our data is telling us right now, and what our indicators are telling us right now, lots of down, has usually been bought up in this area. Every time it's been down in here, it's been bought up. And we're in a buy in stochastic down at the bottom here. And our greed is, pretty low. And our critical greed and fear is finally cooled off. And we wanted this reset for that cool off. It makes all the difference in the world. ETH didn't do that double bottom where we wanted to see it go. Our stink bid hit in the drop. These were our 2 bids from whatever that early April show was to get back into. We got out of Ethereum, announced in our Discord way up there. So And we called Ethereum pretty much from day one of the show up until here. This is where Ethereum fell apart. And we were really hoping to get the cup and handle, pull back, and then go. So now we have this. Are we on the daily? Let's update our. We caught that breakout. We called that perfectly. Made it to the top where we thought it was, even sooner. And then Black Swan. And here we are. So we are going to see a lot of these areas of retest right now. And fighting around that 3 is psychological. This could very easily, in my opinion, where's that last candle at? Try to walk this line down. There's not much attention on ETH. Our indicators are pointing down. We don't have any indication of a curl. And this is what I look for when I want to get in. With playing with a little higher risk, I try to get in right before that micro bull starts. And that's what this curl is. That's what these little bellies are. And when I get confirmation, I try to get in and get out. Here was a perfect example. And that's how we've lined up a lot of our trades. Ooh. One day. That's how we line up a lot of our entries, is looking for this belly, wait for the retest on a pull down on a shorter time frame, enter, and then get out. And that's what this belly was here. We're hoping an entry here, maybe a sting bid here. Well, we caught it, and this is where we should have got out. We have exits telling us everywhere, you know. Critical greed is firing. We have a green out and a red in on Bollinger. We have a curl on our band. Every indicator here, including stochastic and RSI, is telling me to get out. So we caught this entry here. If you didn't get out, my question is, why didn't you believe in the indicators there for a quick 15% 3 days? You know, now we're having the indicators tell us in, confused, possible downwards pressure. So until I see like that sharp belly where we have the narrowing, where it looks like we're trying to get that micro bull cross, I'm not getting interested in a long or an accumulation. So sadly, right now, I think ETH is in for a little more pain. It's definitely going to be testing these areas. I would be putting wicks down here, but there is nothing saying that ETH can't continue down these lines, because these lines look pretty straight. So it makes me a little nervous on ETH. So money coming in helps us determine to find our entries. Where all that money is it in Bitcoin? Is it in alts? Where is it going? And how are we looking on our indicators? That's what I use for our entries. That's the money flow. And that's how we try to apply it to all of our trades using our tools, using these strategies. And you can follow along, right along with us. So, still with me?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Totally. Totally. I really appreciate people showing up and watching. And even if you can only make it to the money flow cycle or watch the money flow cycle, and then if you got to get to stuff, we're all people with other things to do, right? At least do that, you know? It gives you that. Oh, you're such a tease. Hey, you know I get distracted easily. Hey, D-Gens. Can I say hey, D-Gen to you? That's you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, DGen, how you doing there, my little friend, my ape friend?
Good. We have episode 69. We've been talking about some giveaways. We are going to do something different for this giveaway. To be entered, if you've been active in our Discord, you will be automatically entered. If you are watching this stream right now, retweet it, like it, share it, and you will get an entry into our giveaway, which we will do on tomorrow night's show. And we're going to take 69 tokens from one of the tokens in our series. We'll leave it as a surprise till tomorrow. And a swag bag. And tomorrow we'll spin the wheel for all those that have retweeted, liked, and joined our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, get into our DMs on Twitter and we'll get you an invite. And tomorrow's show, we will spin. We will tell you what those 69 tokens are. You will receive those 69 tokens when you send us your address, of course. And then the swag bag from The Empire Strips Back. What's that all about?
Oh my gosh, The Empire Strips Back. I can't even remember the date. Was it back in October? It was a burlesque show, and the name of it was The Empire Strips Back. And there was a series of, I think maybe 8, which was a lot, dances. Maybe I'm wrong on that. And or shows, I'll say, and they were amazing, hilarious, very accurate to the movie, and
It was
quite salacious.
It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. We'll have a little short video coming from that evening. That's one of the things we want to do with our community as well, is have fun, share our experiences IRL, what we do. And then when we're out at Cool Event, we will always pick up some extra merch to give away for people that are interested. So the swag bag consists of the sexy stormtrooper of The Empire Strips Back. And of course, the number one selling item of the touring show, and it got rave reviews. It was amazingly done. The Chewy panties, a pair of authentic Chewbacca panties for the ladies. So, what a better time to give away something like that than for show 69? I love it. I love it.
Just so you know, I've worn those, a different pair. We bought 2.
I was like, this show took a turn.
And go to my OnlyFans. I'm just joking. But the other panties, they're the same, but they're just so cute, and they're kind of old school panties. They're very, very cute. So they made me laugh, and I was like, I have to have them. I don't care if they fit me or not.
Kind of funny. I didn't think we'd be sitting here talking about Chewy panties.
Yeah, I'm pretty an open book, my friend.
But here we are. No, but in all seriousness, we have really appreciated the journey. We appreciate you guys and getting the help out there for the retweets and helping spread the education, because our goal is to be a source of truth to what we know, our strategies and our tools, and how to use them. And
how to learn them from me as much as you guys can.
So on that note, why don't we jump into the trades that we've been looking at? If you're new and you're just watching, we did we waited for a nice belly. We got that nice belly, and then literally a few candles later is when the black swan happened. So I said it's a great exercise to learn how do you trade an event like a black swan. This is not my first one. It's not the first time I've entered a token and the price has dropped. It's the first time it's dropped this much in a long time. But by following our strategies, we turn these events into profitable events. So and when we're talking these bellies, we were looking like a belly and off to the races. So I'll start on the weekly view on all of these quickly, because if you are new, we're trying to this one do the cup and handle formation, get up to there. There's lots of profits that we will be taking away. Our first target is the weekly consolidation box up here. Buy on the pullback to get to our next target, buy on the pullback to get to our next. is the plan with 1 inch. So 1 inch, let's get it all up here. My apologies. And a lot of our entries right now, 1 inch has been actually sadly one of the worst ones. And we're really now looking, like I said, this was quick and dirty. We were saying we really needed to hold this weekly and that we didn't want to catch falling knives. It really looked like we were hoping to turn here. That's why we did our second entry. And then it was responsive around bombs 2. And this is what's happening now. We're starting to see that consolidation. Thank you, Jay. In this area in here. And it is important for 1 inch to hold this. I'm still very bullish on 1 inch. It's a great project. And 1 inch may require another buy-in. We talked about that with a couple of tokens to dollar cost entries to maximize the profits on our way. Now with geopolitical events, I'm being a little more patient than I normally would. Normally I would have a stink bid already in place down here. I don't. What I want to see is that kind of action. And we get the price hold in here and then, you know, and then we go back. That's what I'm looking for 1 inch before I take another entry somewhere in here. When it does happen, I will post it. So far, 1 inch has probably been the most hurtful out of all of our trades. But sometimes those ones are also the most fruitful in the end. Aave is consolidating nicely. Oops. Oh, I just did. When we were discussing it yesterday, it was right close to our bottom entry. It's pulled back, but it is still holding this support, which is a lot of strength. We're in, and I won't sound like a dead horse when we're doing this, but we're in all these tested breakouts. You'll see a lot of these. We're coming down in price, consolidating. We have our support. We have our touches on the parallel. You know, now we need that retest, and we start to go back to these areas. A lot of these tokens are in these positions. If geopolitical events all stay the same, these are beautiful entries. We started with there's no such thing as a perfect entry. You will be off a little bit here and there on the bottom and on the top. The goal isn't to be perfect at the top and the bottom. The goal is to be able to figure out how to, you know, get in the middle of it and take those 30s, take those 50s, take those 12s, take whatever they are. But if you can understand that this is opportunity and take profit when everybody else is saying it's going to the moon, you just repeat this cycle. And all of these tokens right now are sitting in a very similar trend. And as we talked about before, a lot of these prices were back in February or October of last year. So with everything going on I don't think the bull run is over. We want to look at that psychology of the market. We talked earlier in the show just now, this was our biggest pullback. This is the first shakeout of fear. And in the Discord, I mentioned this is accumulation. Early on the show, I mentioned all the good traders. We're all going, what are you buying? What are you grabbing tons of? So right now, this on Aave looks like our consolidation box, which is showing strength in this area. So, and we can see that narrowing and coming down. Now we were hoping, like I said, to just spin it there, but we didn't. And the reason I'm not re-entering right now is because I'm going to be a little more patient to wait for that cross or to be a little closer because we already have a few entries. And the beautiful thing about lower entries when you already have higher entries and you're matching them is you are buying them at a discount. So you are getting more tokens. So when you put more in when you're rebuying, you're making those percentages back faster. And that's part of the always have cash on hand, dollar cost entry. And the difference between dollar cost entry, dollar cost average, dollar cost entry, this is a swing trade. In the altcoin channel, analysis channel where all these are posted, I've stated that these trades are going to last probably a few weeks to a couple of months. It's going to take us a while to get back up to these levels. It's not going to happen overnight, but we'll get there. And we're hoping we don't get down here. This is indicating we're not. We have lots of support. The indicators are telling us it's time for a micro bull. Doesn't mean that micro bull is going to last all the way up to here. We might get a micro bear in the middle, pull back, micro bull, and pull up. We don't know until we get there. But how do we use the tools to make sure we're doing the best we can during the whole journey? That's all this is. So Aave, definitely a nicer little bit of a keeping around to our lower entry compared to 1 inch. And right now, we just saw that, of course, we're having a little money leave the total market cap. So we should be on some red candles right now. Algorand. Starting to see a pattern. If you are wondering what all the different colored lines are and you are just tuning in, I do have different colors for everything. This green box is a 4-hour. So we have a 4-hour consolidation rectangle. This angle, anything that's gold is a weekly and anything that's gray is a daily. So I can say, hey, look, it's landing on this daily support and resistance, these wicks, these bodies, right? And it's been fighting to stay above it right now. But we can see we're narrowing on our micro bear, micro bull. And this is where I always get excited. I want the narrow and I want the belly, because when these get narrow, they cross. And when we get that cross, that's our bullish cross movement the other direction. Well, is it going to be probably a little bit? Maybe. We might be in this consolidation for a couple of weeks. Who knows? But like I said, I'm only panicking when the total market cap gets to that 2 trillion. There's a psychological number with that. I'm not saying I would sell out either. I would say that, I'd be assessing all of my positions. Whereas with my assessments of them now, no fear, happy. This is what I normally look for to get in. The only difference is this is textbook, black swan. Textbook again. Let's hope we don't have another down. And if you want to play safe, ultra safe, just wait for the bullish cross. It'll come. They always do. AVAX. When I'm uncertain, and if you watched the show yesterday, I said I'll draw a question mark. And that we might be somewhere in here. And if you just wanted to get in, here's an entry. All right. we would contemplate this entry as it's going to dollar cost our entries here. We did not want to take this because we weren't sure if it would rebound yet. Well, I'm still not sure. We are pitching, we are starting to curl, but from what changed yesterday to today and looking at the data, I could probably go, yeah, I reckon we'll catch a wick around there. Same thing as I said before. If I do, and this was we only had 3 real bad second entries. Our 1-inch AVAX, and then it'll come as we find it. Maybe it was just the 2. So keeping an eye on it, being patient to go, okay, where is my last, hopefully, re-entry on AVAX to, as soon as we get that cross, be in profit. Hopefully very soon. Cielo. Come on. Just a little bit below our entry. We did say, here's our thing. Here was round 2 of bombs. Now we're consolidating in here. Looks to be holding the weekly support. Look how narrow that micro bear is getting. That's what we're looking for. Right? And when we go back in time, when it gets narrow and then you get the cross, boom. Narrow cross, boom. Down, narrow cross, boom, until we got the next one. So these on a TA level and on an indicator level right now, healthy. We have this down building compression, typically a breakout. So what I'm going to do here is draw that trend line. I mean, kind of gross, but you can see what I'm talking about. Same pattern. Down, more of a down there, obviously. Compression, wanting to break that trend for a breakout. That doesn't mean it's going to just go, we'll have resistance here. We'll have resistance here. It's always nice to have an equal big green candle here and there. But it takes a lot of money flowing in. And that hype at the moment is a little chill. Macello looking really nice as our re-entry textbook, in my opinion. Dot on the weekly is not looking good. We said it probably may come down to this weekly support in the middle here before it wants to turn around. Ooh, we don't need a 3-day. On the day, you can see what I'm talking about. That belly is just starting to form. We've been holding this line in here. I'm happy with these re-entries on dot. And as soon as we can get, let's go on the 4s because we traded this on the 4s. That was a question I got a lot. I tend to always watch 4s. I watch for movement weekly, daily, and then I'm mostly on the 4s. Same thing again, just a big rectangle consolidation, building pressure. We're just slightly below our last entry. Everything is looking good. Saying we're coming up to a sell wouldn't surprise me. A little bit of pullback after 8 hours of 6.25%, people will take profit. Probably come down to here, and then we'll go up to here, and we'll go down here, to here, right? I hope this is starting to make a little bit of sense.
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
Makes sense. It makes sense. This waiting game is interesting. I've taken a couple of notes on where I think I would put my little stink bids or when it might happen. So I'm curious to see tomorrow or in the next day how it plays out.
Um, Phantom was where we were talking when you said on that daily, really nice to have, or sorry, it was on the 4 hour. It would really be nice to have that double bottom when you talked about it. And we're like, oh, yeah, it could absolutely be forming that. It continued the same pattern as everything else because it is Bitcoin season and everything was following that path. But we still have that level of support. We're just slightly below our last entry. Looks like we're holding at this level. For me to have to rebuy in here doesn't make sense. I think we'll find some better tokens off the hunt. And we've already got enough in that's close enough that it's not like the 1 inch or a couple others where I'll deploy some more. I mean, we gave that stink bid yesterday on the show and it hit. And we were saying this was one of the bad ones to go and that we wanted to reassess to see if this would still be good. What was good? Still got a bit of spread and we're just starting to plateau. We've already had 1 wick here. I'm going to wait a couple more to see, and I now may see if this is still a good re-entry or might move it up a bit and take that little bit of a loss of that entry versus just security. I'm not 100% sure that we've cooled. It still has a slight, and it pulled right down to the support. So it did have a healthy up, but great entry from the show last night to where it is. How to recover these things. I'm pretty confident we're going to stay above this. But with geopolitical, I am decided to wait a little longer this time. And same thing when we're looking at the big picture on some of these, our goal, our short-term profit goal, makes me laugh every time I see Kate Stinkpit, is 52%. All right, we got these last 6 from our trades that I've been actively in. And then we have some hunt ones. I'll do the hunt just real quick, probably just a screen flash and a quick couple of thoughts. These ones are doing really well from our trade picks. The belly, where we were hoping to take off before the black swan. Again, the belly, we talked about, we got to get better at our stinks. Complete consolidation, just slightly underneath. Our first target from current price is 69%, which is this localized high just below it here. And Filecoin is a long-term hold for me. We've done well with it already since January. Again, to give you an idea, our targets are up in here for our long-term target. So, I mean, current price, gross. Whoops. Thought I had a long-term target in there. This is, And then I think it's just a little less, but you kind of get the point. Like, this is a game of patience and strategy and taking profits along to get to that route. And we've been doing that with FILE and many other coins since we've started. And it's been great. So on the 4 hour, close enough to our bottom, consolidating nicely where we want to see it to journey back up to our top for profits. Hedera, this is hilarious. Look at that catch from last night. Same thing. I feel we'll probably get back down into these areas while we pinch in the next few candles. And when I do these last 3-4 entries on a couple of these to minimize this down here, I will post it, like I said, in the Discord. If you're not in our Discord and you want to be in our Discord, just get in touch with Canna Crypto Pope's DMs, NFA OFC's DMs, the Crypto Katie's DMs, and we'll get you in there, which gives you access to our tools, our calls, some great mods. And yeah, we do all this. There's no charge.
And the modules. Did you mention the modules?
I did not.
That's the most important part, I think, for me, which is great. But yeah, throw your email in there, see what happens.
Get signed up to take the lessons, and it's all it is a few hours of listening to a crazy ape on the internet. Same formation. Everything is looking really, really healthy right now. Chainlink, love it. Telcoin, we didn't bother with it. I keep saying it wasn't on the exchange that it was in, so we didn't bother. And we gave those entries prior to Black Swan. And it looks like it's going to be mellowing out in this area. Guys, I keep saying, if anybody really wants it, just get in the DMs and we'll go. This dip happened, or recovery happened, a lot faster. You can see what a curl now does coming up to a bullish cross. This is this pattern we've been trying to find. And sometimes you mistime it. You know, stink bids. And then another curl where we're like, okay, we need to $dollar cost entry our entries on this. So if you didn't catch the first bids and you just caught, say, that one, because you said, why not? 2.44 in 2 days. Nothing wrong with that, especially when a lot of people are losing money right now. So this curl happened a lot faster, which was really nice to see. Lots of up. Like if you got that bottom to the top, nobody ever does, but just, you know, for principle's sake, 13.7% in 1 day. No doubt there's a big candle down. Cool. And now we're holding these levels. We just continue to walk up and we get back to our targets, our goal. That's a prime example of the belly going into a bullish cross. Now, this might last just a little bit, which would be my guess because those lines are pretty tight. And the rationale is the total market cap. SNX. This is one I'm quite excited about as well. Usually the ones with the higher ups, I mean, look at that belly. We were so good to get that. We weren't even expecting to get a stink bid. And then, of course, Black Swan. Same thing, belly. Now we're waiting for that. And I said we would want to put a bid in around here. It would have hit. I still have not taken any of these last entries. I do want to ensure, sound like broken record, geopolitical, that, and then that, you know, these get a little tighter and we get to that cross. So we could probably see, you know, that kind of action. all things staying as they are and being positive. So that was all the trades that we did, and I've been doing live and have been on it in the Discord and showing my entries and on the actual screenshots from the exchange. Then we did a hunt a little while ago, and we said let's have a look at quickly what's going on in some good projects to look at getting into maybe some set and forgets. Or for some people that might want to swing trade again. We have this weekly triangle pattern forming. We're down damn near close to the bottom and a retest. I want to see more of a curl at a bull before we go to our first weekly resistance, which is around that 100%-ish. If we got down there, I don't know where that came from, but from current price. So bull is looking good to turn around, but it doesn't mean it still can't follow this line. I'm waiting. Do not take that as an entry, please. Said that many times. Cardano is right around where we thought it might curl. Right on that curl line, which was the bottom, which we said it had to hold. This is our bottom consolidation box for ages. Clearly dipped out, red, green, entry. For Bollinger, no entry and possibly still down. The reason it's possibly still down because even Micro Bear, Micro Bull knows it needs to hold a modified line or it's going down. So not bullish on Cardano yet, but there's some good gains to be made, and it's top echelon token and an ecosystem you can throw a lot of money at. That's not going to change the price value. AGIX looks like it's right, same thing, right on our entry line of the hunt to where we're trying to get to with it. So pretty damn close. ARB, same thing. Pretty damn close to that entry line, a little bit under, possibly still. Like I said, I didn't want to take any of these yet. We gave, somewhat expectations or ideas of how we're analyzing this. I want to see this curl, and that's why I'm waiting, and that's why I keep going, okay, and please don't buy, because this is how I will line up some of my trades and the data for it, and just keep looking. And that's looking probably pretty good. We'll recheck that tomorrow. See, I have to do this when I'm doing it for me for work, so it just happens you guys get to come along for the ride. Blockchain Bets is in profit from that call. Full disclosure, I have bags of this. I think I've said that many times. I would have thought that's a good entry. Then looks like we're coming up. I still think this would be a good entry. It would probably wick down. It looks like it wick down to it there. Have some up, maybe wick down. We're definitely looking like it's coming up to a bullish cross. Lots of up the last little bit. I'd expect a red or two coming up soon. For those that are wondering, Beam, Beam, love Beam. We've had a good year with Beam. I mean, it's right on our stink bid from ages ago, from the first time we did the hunt. Looking like we might get somewhere in here. These were not to be bought, so I'm just going to borrow that one. We may get in there. We may get in there. Actually, I'm just going to leave one. I don't know why I gave two. It's the hunt. We're not quite sure yet. Kanto was looking like it was going to have a beautiful curl. And this is the risk of trying to get in before the micro bull. Right? Look at that belly. There's your cross. You know, you get all that profit to there and then to your, to your exit. So I'm trying to catch that. And when bad news bears events happen, you have to be prepared for it. Still looking like we might get down into these areas looking for that belly. Somewhere in there. And I will let everybody know when I get into the hunt and which I'm getting into at what prices. I'm just being fully transparent. Just watching. Ooh, that 4-hour candle was not a good one. And this looks straight down. So for now, this does not on a 4-hour. All right, a little better when you have the. We'll see. This could. Will that do that? Or will that do that? We'll check. Come back tomorrow. Crown, this is one I said I was bullish on, and we'll be holding bags of this. There was our bid from the hunt, and I mean it's already off. You've already got your bullish cross. Don't buy now, please. Buy green, buy red. It'll probably come back down and into these levels. Who knows? It's very tight right there and a little bit back and a little bit up. We'll see. But if you caught that and you hit it, hella. Right at our bottom entry currently. Tiny little bit of profits. Oh, no. Why does that look blue? My bad. Down a little off of that entry, which I said, please don't take. Yeah, I bet you get into there. And I'll probably be in the next 8 to 12 hours. If everything continues as this is, I will be re-entering the positions I've been talking about, and I will post. Yeah, that looks healthy. That looks very healthy. Engine, I mean, it's literally right above where we said. Still a good entry. Would probably pull back down to it. We don't have the bullish cross. You'll get a wick. 51% for the localized target. And these targets are just our last localized highs. Gala already in profits. Will probably dip back again down to this line. Wouldn't surprise me. I'll leave the line there. I think that's still a good entry. Just starting to curl. Just starting to see that curl now. Like plateau kind of a thing. That was a bump. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. GMT. And the difference between the hunt and our first show, well, one, we already had the Black Swan. And then two, we've always been, and I talk about keeping notes on your trades, keeping the journal, because you never know it all as a trader. The second you say you know it all, good fucking luck, And we've talked about how, just recently we've been playing with the stop loss, but not really stop loss, the entries, the limit buys to give them a little lower. And then we were missing, then a little higher, and then we were too high. So for the hunt, we took into that, and I discussed that and how we're going to adjust how we've been looking at it lately for that. And this hunt, by doing that, has had much better entries, because we've been kind of understanding what's going on with the market. On a retest, great entry. I think anywhere in this consolidation box, you're probably still going to hit on a wick. GRT, looking like it's going to be holding this area. Obviously, a little bit of dip down from where we did say, and look at it, it would be probably right there now. And then if you are new tuning in, one of the things I will do, because I'm not going to invest in every single one of these coins, the trading series I'm in every single one of those trades, as I've discussed. But these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from their current price to their next high weekly resistance of their latest high, and pick the ones that have the better possibility of return, because they're all good tokens and they're all laying up in a very similar pattern. So GRT doing really well. Kusama we've had on the show a lot, and have done extremely well with Kusama. And we nailed that call. And I still think if you missed it, you'll probably catch a wick on it, just like we did here, here, here. We have this consolidation area. Anywhere in here is going to be a great entry to have a ride on Kusama. So to the 27 to there, and about 56 to there, 57 roughly, depending on your entry. Manta is one that has been shitting the bed comparatively. And this is a good reason or a good exercise when you're looking for your hunt, when you're looking for, lay them out and go, yeah, okay, it was kind of bellying. We had indication of market and other influences, and then it just continued. So, this wick here, these two wicks are like high stink bid location, and that's where it's fighting right now for price. And look at it, it's still straight down. So right now for me, I'm not bullish, because this was where we needed to break into, get to. We're in uncharted territory. So far, if you need to remind a note, sometimes I just do that. About. Not saying I won't revisit it, but right now that's looking a little tough. Matic went right down to our daily level of support, looking like it wants to curl, holding this area for now. I even said, it feels criminal that you can buy Matic at these prices compared to what it came from. And there's so much on Polygon. And full disclosure, like Polygon Matic for me was the highest percentage return. Never not the most money I've ever made in a trade. But I was in Matic pretty much when Matic started. And I didn't know nearly as much about trading then as I do now. And I've always had a soft spot for it. Uh, and there's so much use case and utility behind it. And we can see we're coming up into these areas. Not having Matic would be, in my opinion, kind of crazy. Which is this one? I can't see. Miro. This is this dog or cat one we keep talking about. But has great DA. So it's right at our entry, starting to come to a bullet. Like we can see that what I'm talking about, what I'm looking for. That pivotal shift, ending up to get that bullish cross to get. Now, of course, this is going to be our strongest resistance, is this weekly consolidation box. There may be some, it's already having problems getting to here, which is support and resistance. Makes sense to have a little bit of pullback after all this uptick, and then hopefully just continue the path. Mira, I would me and leave it in. Oh, that's probably why I had two, because they were close, so you could leave it in. You would probably catch a wick down into these areas, I would think. I'll break my trends now, what I've been doing. Trying to clean them all up so it's also easier when I get to them next time. Naka, what happened, Naka? Jesus. That one hurts. And this is why you wait a bit. And I say don't buy these yet till we look. I am bullish on Naka. I have bags of Naka. It's Nakamoto Games. I think it's going to do really well. It's just not showing that at the Mo. We might even get down into here, to be honest. This will be a good right. Miria is an Ethereum layer too. What am I thinking of? The one, I'm an animal, starts with an M. It's somebody's dog or cat. Myro? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Anybody know?
So many now. It's crazy. I used to be able to keep track of tons, but now we have millions. Yeah, I'd be happy with that at Naka. I mean, I'm in less than that for Naka, but even now for a rebuy. OP, damn. Showing strength. Probably will get right back down to this entry. I'm going to leave it. Clearly having some support. We don't have that plus, the bullish cross, pinchy yet. And this looks like it's going to take a bit to turn. So if you're not in, I would still be looking around here. I think this is probably a good entry point to have a bid. Optimism thing there. This is funny because we said it needed to hold this box. Maybe get down into this stinky here. And gross, not far off, but you can see what it's doing. It's now having problems getting into here. We have lower lows down here. And do these go back? They do. Oh, yeah. So now I will do this adjustment to hold it there. It needs to hold. It needs to hold that box, or it's going to go down hard. So if it, and just to kind of help with my notes, it needs to do that, or it's going like that. And this is going to just go to in this area. And that's a quick jump. And that is very possible. Please don't buy it. Like I feel torn. Do I give these limits as my notes of where I'm looking when I can say, hey, look, like on the daily, we need this to really mellow the fuck out so we can have the price here. Otherwise, we are coming down to somewhere in here. If we get the mellow, if we get the belly, if we get that and it's a check, then this is a check. If we don't get that belly, do not enter here. That'd be foolish. And we last one from the hunt so far. Oops. And the next version of this will be coming up probably over the weekend. I've been trying to do a little bit more on the daily fix with this because I believe we are in good areas of accumulation. This is the time to be buying. This is not the time to follow the chicken littles and the scaredy cats and everything else. I think you can notice we have this trend in a lot of our positions where we're looking for that bullish cross to get back up to these localized highs and take some profits. We're not going to work all the way down here and do all this much to take it up here and not think there's going to be retracements. I always say take profits because if you don't, I will. And sheep don't, they'll ride it to the top and to the bottom, and that hurts. So just before we go, let's have a quick look one last time at the most important part, which is our total market cap, all the money in the crypto market, really looking like we are getting that belly, which we wanted to see. We said we'll probably have a little bit of pullback, so there's lots of up. We want to see if we can hold this line at 2.199, 2.2, and maintain this belly and then up. If there is any geopolitical issues, for lack of a better word, and things start to go down, this does not mean I am selling everything and I'm getting out. This area is where real contemplation and I've only been in that area so far once. This market, when we did that, was the first big dip dive before this black swan at our localized high. And we were in the Discord nonstop to the wee hours of the morning, and we mitigated our losses from that and trading. And I admitted then I woke up, it was a nice car equivalent that I lost. And, I think it took us about 16 to 18 hours to get it back. And it was good. And then we re-enter and we get a black swan. So this isn't the fun of trading. Isn't it fun, guys? But how do you manage it? How do you play it? If you didn't have cash on hand and you were all in on the market, please let that be a lesson. The money will move when it wants to, and when it wants to, it'll do it faster than you can imagine. So take profits, always leave money on the sidelines. So when we get these accumulation phases that we have right now, you can monopolize on them. So I hope that helps. I hope I wasn't too long-winded. We're about 15 minutes over. That's it from me that I can think of, unless there was any questions.
You're not long-winded at all. There was a lot to go over, and there is a lot to go over every time you look at it, right? So do exactly what you're supposed to do. Episode 69.
Episode 69 is in the books. Like us, retweet us, get in our Discord.
Yep.
Everybody that's retweeted and is active in our Discord will be on the prize wheel for show 70. And you will learn what 69 tokens we're giving from. And you will get the Empire Strips Back swag bag, white t-shirt, sexy stormtrooper, and Chewbacca panties.
The underoos.
Right?
Yep, the Wookie panties, baby.
I love it. Thanks again. Kate, any final words?
Yeah, I do have a couple things to say, you guys. Don't take every single one of these tokens that we've been talking about. Don't do them all. Choose a few. DYOR or DYOR on stuff. Do your own research. Know your percentages, what you're putting in. Look back at some modules to refresh now. They're going to make more sense. I say this every now and then. More things will stick, and we're not going to be sheep. And some of us have been. Now we're hiding. So until next time, we'll do it tomorrow again.
Totally.
Same crypto time, 7 PST. Hope to see you all there. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Absolutely. And thanks. I was just going to say, don't panic. These are perfect times to accumulate. If you have questions, you can jump in our Discord and ask us. And we see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
And as always, this is not financial advice, a fucking course. NFA OFC happens to be the name also. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Pope.
Bye.
Later, Gators.